Right, welcome to part 2. We're now finally up to our down to whatever. We're at the top 5. So let's just roll right back into this. Ben, what is your top 5? What is your number 5 movie of 2015?
My number 5 movie of 2015 is Mistress America. It's a Noah Baumbach movie with Lola Kirk and Greta Gerwig. I don't know if any of you have seen...
I haven't seen it, but I really wanted to because I saw the trailer. Yeah.
And yeah,
I haven't. I don't even know what this is. I might have heard about it, but...
I was particularly interested in it because I loved Frances Ha, which is his last movie, also with Greta Gerwig. And they co-wrote it together, and it's fantastic. And it's one of those movies that, like, I don't feel like it does anything visually particularly compelling. Like, I think the whole movie looks good, but it didn't, like, blow me away in that regard. I thought everybody in it was good, but wasn't, super into any of the performances. But I felt these two characters so much. I just felt so bad for both of them for so much of the movie, because it's Lola Kirk plays this girl in college, and she's sort of struggling to figure out what she's doing. She's trying to write and not having a lot of success, and her mom is getting married, and her soon-to-be stepdad's daughter is Greta Gerwig, and her mom says, oh, she lives in New York too, just go hang out with her, go get to know each other, you'll be sisters soon, so you should become friends. And they're hanging out, and Greta Gerwig is like in her 30s and sort of not able to commit to anything. Like, she's got sort of big, vague dreams, but she isn't really following through on anything. And so it's just the two of them sort of fumbling through trying to get funding for a restaurant for the most part. And it winds up with them and a bunch of other characters in a house together, all just having the most awkward, uncomfortable like business pitch in the world. But it's so fantastic, and I think everybody in it is so good, and I love it. If you've ever seen The Squid and the Whale, is a Noah Baumbach movie as well, or I'm trying to remember what else, but yeah, I love all of his movies that I've seen. This is no exception.
Looks like I've got another movie to add to my list of still have to watch. This is just getting out of me. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I never saw Frances Ha either. I've heard
it's on Netflix.
I've heard great things, so I'm gonna have to check it out. It's really hard. It's honestly really hard for me to watch a movie, especially at home by myself, because I'm so bad. I have such a short attention span. Where like I'll get distracted. TV is good for me because it's little short increments. I can handle it. But like I'll get like if it's like I could never watch a 3-hour movie just sitting at home, like on my couch, because I'll end up doing something else or not paying attention.
Yeah.
I usually have to be in the theater for stuff like that. So
if I'm trying to watch a movie,
we're gonna have to have some movie weekends, I think.
You know how much I like movies, so you just have to be like, yo. I'll be like, yo.
Well, I think we need to plan on watching Dope next weekend.
So good.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
Sweet.
Agreed.
All right. My number 5 is Ant-Man.
Oh.
The reason being, this is the Marvel movie I think I've wanted for a long time. Ever since we got Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, I want another funny, like just straight up, just funny movie. And I think that's what this did for me. Is it was just start to finish. There was a lot of funny moments. It wasn't just the same superhero. Like, it wasn't Iron Man. It wasn't like this big, huge thing. It was like, yeah, we're gonna, unintentional joke. But it was great because it was just about like a normal person dealing with a fucked up situation, kind of.
I had fun with Ant-Man. I really enjoyed it when I first saw it, but then after like hearing more people talk about it and stuff, I started to realize things more about the movie, so it brought it like down for me. Whereas like I was like, yeah, I guess Michael Pena's character is pretty racist.
That was my only issue with it.
Yeah, and he really is. Like he's great and funny, but like no, he is a caricature.
Yeah, like he does a great job of playing it. He does the best job anyone could have done, but
right.
yeah.
They could have just worked his character. They could have just tweaked his character a little bit, and he wouldn't have been so bad.
Just make him a little more of a human being.
Take out the line about his dad getting deported. Cut the accent too, because that's dumb.
Well, from what I heard, a lot of that was his input. Was
Really?
his improv and his I think the character should be like this.
That makes it more reasonable, but still kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the one thing that kind of took me out of the movie. I was like, oh, this character rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Otherwise, I loved that movie. I kind of went to it because my dad and I like to go to movies together, and we were like, there's really nothing out. We're like, we could go see Ant-Man. That kind of, I hear it's good, but I probably won't like it. And then I was like, this is so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. Paul Rudd was amazing.
Paul Rudd.
It is really good. Paul Rudd is amazing. I watched it again when I was visiting some friends in Mankato, and we're like, what should we do? Well, let's rent Ant-Man from the Redbox and watch it. But it is great. I love Evangeline Lilly, especially for her to be Wasp. I'm so excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Mm-hmm. A big gripe I heard people say about Ant-Man was like, she's clearly the best person for the job. Why doesn't she do it?
Well, a lot of people say that, but it's like her father was being overly protective, and he realizes in the end that she's ready for it. So people are like, oh, she was better than him, but that's not the point. The point was he's expendable. She's not.
Right.
They bring that up in the movie.
Right. And a lot of people still have problems with it even after that.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember
with that at all.
I just remember wondering why he didn't tell her. Why Michael Douglas didn't tell her that that's how her mom died.
Yeah, that is a big thing.
Because she knew about the entire Ant-Man project and whatnot. I don't think it was a secret that her mom was involved in it.
Why not tell her that she died
a hero? Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, I really liked it. It was very fun. It made me sad at the end of the year when I looked at my list and there weren't any Marvel movies on it. Because all year I was really excited. I was really excited for Ultron and Ant-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw them and really enjoyed them both. But neither of them really stuck with me as much. They were both really fun, and especially I'll watch Paul Rudd do anything.
God damn it!
Yep.
I like Evangeline Lilly too. I've had a crush on her since I saw her in the second Hobbit movie. Because I went to see that movie just
only that recently.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what else I would have seen her.
I feel guilty.
She was in that really terrible Hugh Jackman robot movie.
I didn't see that movie.
Oh, Real Steel?
Yeah.
I never saw that either, but I really wanted to.
I've never seen that.
I never saw that.
I only made it through that movie because
and I didn't
of her.
watch Lost either. But
Yeah,
I saw this. I never saw the first Hobbit movie. I just went to the second because I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings. But my friends were like, let's just go see it. I was like, fine, whatever. And then I saw her, and I was like, oh, sweet. And then when I found out she was cast in Ant-Man, that just made me even more excited to see the movie. So I'm super pumped for Ant-Man and the Wasp, for her to get some real action in the movie.
For her to get to actually kick some ass and do some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, damn it, my list. My number 5 is The Martian, which we already talked about quite a bit. I had just such a blast watching it. We talked about it a lot. I really don't want to go into it too much, but I just came out having just with a big smile on my face, just having so much fun watching the movie, and every character was enjoyable. Everyone killed it. I love a good sci-fi movie, and visually stunning. And I think it was great to see Ridley Scott come back with a banger. Yeah, because he's had some shit ones the past few years. So that's I'm not gonna say any more about it because we've already talked about it quite a bit. So that's my number 5 is The Martian.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, this is just another one we've already talked about. My number 5 is Ex Machina.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, I mean, just to put it in one sentence, I like movies that fuck me up, and this movie fucked me up. That's all I can really say about this movie. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
We talked about it quite a bit. We're reaching that point. But,
Yeah. No words.
All right, Ben, you're number 4.
My number 4 was Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh.
And I mentioned this briefly before, and this was one of the ones that was always near the top of my list. But now we're getting into the territory where over the last couple of days I was just shifting movies around like crazy.
Yeah, you know what? Mad Max Fury Road is my number 4 too. Because that was actually my number 5, and I moved it up. just like yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was a little lower on my list, and then I moved it up, and then it was like number 3, and then I moved it back down, and I just couldn't. All of these are pretty close to a tie.
I think we're gonna have to hold off on talking about Fury Road for a little bit because I know it places pretty high for someone else at this.
Yeah, I mean it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mad Max Fury Road. I mean, that was my number 10, right? Like,
Right.
I don't like that movie at all.
So let's hold off on talking about Mad Max Fury Road for a little bit because I know we're gonna get into a really big discussion real soon.
Yeah, basically, if somebody had told me, like, oh yeah, this is a movie that's just like a 2-hour car chase, I'm automatically not interested in that movie. But, it's so good. It was amazing.
So
Blew me away.
we'll do Matt's number 4, and then since Mad Max is my number 4, we'll skip right to Kat after that.
All right. My number 4 was Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Ooh,
So I'm gonna guess that this ranked higher on your list as well.
it sure did.
So we might want to hold off on talking about it. But it was a great movie. It was fun. The first time I saw it, I know we talked about it the week after on our podcast, and I was like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. This probably won't make my top 10. I saw it again, and then
It's one of those movies that I liked more every time I saw it.
Yeah, it was hard because the first time I was watching so critically, and I was like, it was like I was watching for stuff that I didn't like because of the prequels.
See, I
and it's
didn't-
like the second time I just went in and was like, I'm gonna have a good time. And I was like, this
that
was
was
great.
me. I just
It was
went in
fantastic.
like, just amaze me because I went in and I was like, I'm ready for the spectacle. Just hit me. Come on, just do it. So, yeah, we'll get into more of that later.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wonder who likes that movie a lot.
I wouldn't know at
Yeah.
all.
Anyway, what your number 4?
My number 4 is The Revenant.
Okay.
I've seen that movie twice, unfortunately, because that movie is Jesus Christ.
Well, you said you like movies that fuck you up.
but I like movies that fuck me up, but I'm like that's not gonna happen ever. Like, I don't have to worry about this robot seducing me and then killing me.
Hey, give it 5. 10
This
years.
took place in Montana, South Dakota. You know how close South Dakota is to Minnesota? I can never look at a bear ever again. Like,
How many bears do you run into?
I mean, okay, so he gets mauled by a bear.
Oh, but that's not even that's just
No,
That's-
but the
that's
thing
a very-
is, even the bear scene is more brutal than I could have imagined.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Revenant?
I have not yet.
Okay, so can we talk about spoilers?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
There's-
I'm not one of
Because
those people that.
there's really no spoilers. It's
Yeah.
it's
There's
him
not a
going to get
lot
his
of-
revenge. You can know where that's gonna go, and then it's just like the movie is watching it unfold, not
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's gonna happen.
It's an experience more than anything, really.
Right.
I think it's really beautiful. He had the same cinematographer as he did for Birdman. It was also same cinematographer for Gravity. He is Emmanuel Lubezki, but he goes by Chivo. The movie was only shot in natural lighting.
They had to use some lights for like campfire scenes, but
Yeah.
natural lighting.
That's
All natural
amazing.
lighting for the most part. It was in Canada, U.S., and Argentina. The New York Times actually recently posted a 5-minute clip from the movie, and it's Inarritu narrating why he was doing the things they did. And he was saying, like, for example, one scene, it's in the river. Do you remember where he's trying to get away?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they shot the scene where he's in the cave. They found a perfect cave somewhere. And then the scene where he leaves the cave and goes down the river is in a different river.
Oh wow.
They were like very specific for where they needed to get the shots. And I think like the first 10 minutes of that film are just like beautifully
The
and
whole
beautiful
movie is
and
beautiful.
yeah.
I had a hard time leaving it off my list because it is a fantastic movie, and Inarritu is like one of my favorite directors right now,
Yep.
especially after Birdman. This guy I can't wait to see his next project. It's like another one of those situations like, oh, this is probably like my 11 or 12 if I had to pick, but
Yeah, I saw that a few days ago, and that movie just cemented for me how weak a human being I am. Because there were so many points in it where I was just like, yep, that's where I give up.
I would have given it a star.
Yeah.
Just bury me.
Just right after, it's like right after, it's kind of at the beginning of his whole adventure. He crawls over to the river and drinks from the river.
And then you see the water coming out of his throat.
I was just like, nope.
I can't
That's
do
one of the
this.
most, that is one of the most, so, like, okay, you've got Hateful Eight, which is like Tarantino gore, but The Revenant was like one of the most brutal movies I've ever seen.
I was just cringing the entire time, and I give up so much earlier in the movie than he does. Like,
I'm not good at like judging actors' performances, but I really want Leo to get his Oscar for this movie, just for the shit he did to get for this film. You know what I mean? Like, he put so much into this.
just all of the noises of him, like, just screaming and yelling and like dry mouth, like dry throat,
Eating a
screaming.
buffalo liver,
Oh,
like he
man.
really did that.
He did.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
think the horse thing is real too.
Yeah, and I know that Inarritu said that he just had Leonardo DiCaprio just like do insane things that he was just willing to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think it's a great blend of acting, because you have Leonardo DiCaprio, he doesn't have many lines in the movie, so
No,
it's just
he
all
says, like,
this facial expression and physical action, and then you have Tom Hardy's character Fitzgerald, who actually has that more
doesn't shut up.
yeah, who has a lot of dialogue. So you have, I think that they really balance each other out as actors, and I was very happy to see Tom Hardy get
He was great in it.
Oscar nom for that, because
Yeah.
he deserved it. I mean, I obviously just love Tom Hardy so much, but
If the person I the person I want to win Best Supporting Actor doesn't win, I want Tom Hardy.
Who do you want to win?
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
But that's kind of giving away my list. But yeah.
Yeah.
My only gripe, which is like such a small gripe with The Revenant, is that they just beat you over the head that Fitzgerald is an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, we get it. This guy's a fucking dick.
It's so clear that he's
Yeah.
just
It's
human
like,
filth.
yeah, they're just really beating you. Like, this might look at it's like, I got it. That was but that's like such a small gripe.
yeah.
Like, it's okay. I hate him already.
Yeah,
you can ease up on him.
You don't need to
being
convince me.
horrible.
I understand. He's a jackass.
Yeah, I think they could have probably shortened that film a little bit. I don't know if I have the right to say that, because I don't want to sacrifice any of it, but it did feel at parts like it shorted this down just a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder, how long is that movie? Do you know?
About 2.5 hours, a little more.
It is 156 minutes.
Okay, because I remember it feeling long, but not like draggy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I remember it feeling long and just feeling like, oh, God, he's been out here forever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that adds to it, but there are moments where I'm just like, oh, the world is endless. How is he ever going to get anywhere? How is any of this ever going to work out? It just made me feel hopeless.
Yeah, and one thing I really loved about that film too was that you have all this brutality going on, and then like in between there would be these beautiful shots of just like the mountains or flowers, and it was kind
gorgeous
of
nature.
how I felt. It was like, look how beautiful nature is, and then look how nature wants to fucking kill you. Like
Look how simultaneously gorgeous and just nightmarish. life
nightmarish.
is.
Yeah, at the same time.
Watching that movie, like, just made me appreciate being born in the 20th century so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
more. You're like, oh, I'm so glad we have, like, you know, like, indoor heating and, like...
And like I get to, you know,
Robe.
sell people food instead of pelts that I have to go out and get myself.
Right, I don't have to do any of this at all. Because we live in Minnesota, the weather is the same as it is
Yeah.
in that movie.
It's just none of us are being mauled by bears.
Yeah, we're all just a bunch of wieners compared to Leonardo DiCaprio. All right, Ben, you're number 3.
All right, my number 3 is Dope, which we've already talked about.
Oh, fuck! Woo!
And something tells me this half of the list is going to be considerably shorter than the other half, because these are all movies we've talked about already.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, I loved it. I feel bad I don't know the main actor's name off the top of my head, but he's so fantastic in it, and everybody is so good, and it's so fun, but you just get invested in these characters. It feels real without sacrificing the comedic or lighter aspects of it, and I loved it. It was fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to watch this movie.
Yo. Watch it.
All right, my number 3 was Ex Machina, which we've talked about quite a bit. I loved it. I love movies that just like absolutely fuck with you. And that was one of those movies where I watched it and sat there for like 30 minutes just staring at the blank TV for afterwards.
How
I was
beautiful
like,
is that movie too?
yeah, it's. I mean, you have 4 people basically the entire movie. 3 main actors and then 1. Yeah, but it just so great.
Yeah. And that dancing scene.
Yeah.
Whenever I see a picture of it or like a GIF online, I'll reblog or retweet or whatever. It's just so great.
It's right when you're starting to realize that he's just an awful person, and you're starting to really suspect, like, oh, this is a pretty fucked up situation. But then he just goes out and dances, and then they just dance together, and they're just perfectly in sync, and it just comes out of nowhere. I love it.
Beautiful. I can't wait to see what the guy, because that was his first. That was his directorial debut.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see what he does next. Yeah. Anyway, my number 3 is Kingsman: The Secret Service, because I love over the top crazy action. I love spy movies. I love Matthew Vaughn. So like it was just had everything. I loved it so much. I had so much fun watching it. It was easily gonna make the top of my list because I just loved it so much. I had such a blast watching it. Like I love that I love the action to the point where it's comical, like the crazy, like the gore and craziness.
The whole fireworks sequence near the end of the movie.
So good.
It was
insane.
really good.
Yeah, for a movie that just kind of came out of nowhere and just took everyone by surprise. And
yeah, that was a movie that I didn't get around to seeing in theaters, but then watched on Blu-ray later and really dug it. And yeah, I feel like it walks that line really well of action and comedy, and everyone in it is so compelling, especially Samuel L. Jackson. Fucking fantastic. He and Knife Foot lady.
Sophia Botella.
Oh, they're
That's
so
the
good.
actress.
I loved them so much. My only the only thing that like lost me a little bit was just the very end. Like the fact that then he's like his reward for saving the world is that he gets to fuck this princess in the ass.
That's supposed to be apparently it's supposed to be like a joke towards like James Bond movies and stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
I thought it was hilarious.
Because the James Bond movies are always, it's all about like the innuendo, and they're just straight up with it.
That makes sense.
So, and that's supposed to be like the joke, like the commentary on that. But I think, oh my god, what is that actor's name who plays Eggsy in the movie?
Taron Egerton, isn't that what is it? Something
It's Taron Egerton or something like that.
Yeah.
He is
some British name.
I can't wait to see more from him.
Yeah,
he was
he was
amazing.
great.
I can't wait to see him at Eddie the Eagle. He's yeah.
I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's gonna be off doing great stuff. And Colin Firth in that movie.
Oh yeah, everyone
Fantastic.
is so fucking good.
Just really quick, he would be perfect for the Han Solo movie.
Taron, yeah, I agree. I think he could do it. None of the actors that are on that short list are
No.
any good.
Who's like in the running?
There was a short list released, I think, this week, and some of the actors on there were like Dave Franco, Miles Teller, Ansel Elgort. Who else was on that list?
Clint Eastwood's kid.
Scott Eastwood.
Yeah, Scott Eastwood.
Someone else too.
There was a couple people that I hadn't heard of, and
Yeah, but when you look at the list, you're just like,
Like I like all those people,
but not for Han Solo.
Han Solo.
yeah, and none of those feel right.
No.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Sorry for the tangent. I
No,
just had to-
dude, this is like the least tangent. This is actually pretty interesting. We're actually staying surprisingly on topic. But yeah, all I can say is I just had so much fun watching it. That's the reason it's my number 3. Is I just had such a blast watching the movie, and I could easily watch it. It's one of those movies. I was able to put it at number 3 because it's easily a movie I could just watch again. Or if I was hanging out with friends, like, dude, what do you want to do? It's like, let's just watch Kingsman. I'd be like, fine. That's why Hot Tub Time Machine is my favorite movie of all time. I can watch it over and over and over again.
That's exactly how I feel about Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Like, I've just watched that movie easily 100 times.
Yeah, and that's why it's so high. Is it like one of the best movies of the year? Probably not, but it's for me. I can watch it over and over and over again and not get sick of it. So that means it's for me. That's why it's my number 3. So
Is it my turn now?
It's your turn. You're number 3.
Okay. So I like movies that are awful and mess me up. So my number 3 is It Follows.
Oh shit, you put it at number 3?
Yeah, it was amazing. I originally had it at number 2, but I bumped it down.
You just saw this like yesterday.
Okay, this is what happened. I bought it because I knew I wanted to watch it because like maybe it would make my list. I hear it's good. So I wake up after my ridiculous day of movies at 11, and I was like, I'm gonna wake up with this movie. And then I was like, this is a horror movie. Oh my god. And I was watching by myself, and I had to pause it like every 5 minutes. And I love it because it doesn't really rely on a lot of scare tactics. And it's not gory at all. It's there's some blood, but barely any. And it's a basic premise, and it sounds really stupid, but it's basically like there is this kind of ghost curse thing that is passed from person to person through sex.
Yeah, sexually transmitted demon.
Yeah, basically. But this demon, all it does is it just walks towards you very slowly. Mm-hmm. Just like you'll see it, and like it happens. It always looks like a human being, but they're always different, and you can never tell like who it is at first because in the film sometimes you're like that's the demon, then it just ends up being a person walking in the background.
Wow.
And it's just gorgeous. It has this kind of like 80s vibe soundtrack that's just really chill. Cinematography is amazing. I loved all of the actors. I don't know, I don't have any problems with that film. Like honestly, like I had to lock my apartment door. I had to close windows. I felt like someone was watching me for the rest of the day. Like at night, I just like couldn't sleep.
Is anybody walking towards you? Could be it.
I don't know. Every time, like when I was like brushing my hair and I like saw something to the side and it was actually just my hair in my face. But I was like, I was convinced someone was over there, so I like put my hair all the way like to the side and I was just like looking very nervously around me. I'm obviously okay today, I think. But I loved it. I actually want my roommate to watch it tonight, so I might after this go home and watch it again. Because I watched it by myself, which is a bad idea, especially right after waking up. And I think I said the phrase, fuck this, like 1,000 times. Like just alone in my apartment, just yelling, fuck this! And I would pause it and like go, like run around the apartment and then come back. Yes, I'd say watch it with someone. It's scary.
I will not watch it.
Watch it with me.
Wait, have you not seen it?
I hate horror movies. I will never see one. Because I am too much of a wiener and I can't handle it.
I'll watch it with you.
I have not seen it. No.
Do you kind of like horror movies?
Yeah, I love horror movies.
You would fucking love it. Because I think it's very unconventional.
I can't handle horror movies at all.
So are you like for sure not going to watch it then?
I would like to not.
Are you? I don't know. I don't want to ruin it for you.
You can ruin it. None of that stuff bothers me.
Because that movie left me with a couple of questions. One, that boat where she walks out into the water to that boat with the guys on it. Are we meant to believe that she had sex with those guys on that boat? Because it's just a very brief scene where she's like, it's sort of, I haven't seen it in a while, but the way I remember it is, it's sort of her feeling hopeless and like filled with despair, and then she sees this boat with these guys, and then she just walks out into the water towards this boat, and then it cuts, and you never see anything more of that, or it's never referred to, it's never explained. And I've just been wondering since I saw it, like, does she have sex with those guys on that boat?
On the boat?
Is that what's happening? Because then later, they're all the kids are just out and trying to hide from it, and then it appears again. And I'm wondering, like, is that what we're supposed to believe happened there? Is she had sex with these guys, and then the thing just killed those guys and they came back? Yeah,
you just don't know. Because I think it's like...
And that's kind of what I like about that movie, is it doesn't explain too much. It gives you the basics of like, here's the conceit of the movie. This weird thing follows you. That's it. You can pass it along, but then if it kills the person you passed it to, it's coming back to you, and that's kind of all you need to know.
You don't need some like, because a lot of horror films, they're like want to give you this like intense backstory for the demon or like why it exists, and it's just like
here who knows everything about this demon and why it has your children murder you. Or
it doesn't. No one knows. It's just like now because he basically is like, now you have it. Now you know I'm out.
Mm-hmm. My only issue with that movie, my only issue with the lack of answers in that movie is really in like the final confrontation in the pool.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I didn't know what was going on there, and I've watched it again since the first time and still felt like I didn't really know what was going on there. And maybe that's intentional, maybe it's just, you know, because it is just like a bunch of teenagers on their own not knowing how to handle this horrible situation. But I felt like I didn't get what the plan was, or whether it went according to plan or not, or like...
Yeah, it didn't go... I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to get the thing into the pool and have her get out and then electrocute it.
See, that's what I thought, but then I was like, why would...
Why would they do it? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the film, for some reason, just wants to keep up a water motif.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the swimming pool
There
at
is
the
a lot
beginning.
of water in that
yeah, the beach, her going in. Like, I think it's just trying to. I honestly, like, that's how I see it. It is kind of ridiculous. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, yeah,
you idiots.
And I was still into it. It didn't like ruin the movie for me or anything, but I was just like not clear on what was going on at that point.
I think that's the scene where I was just like, what the fuck? I'm like, because I can't
And
explain
I
it.
love visually that scene is fantastic. Like watching just random objects rise and like fucking sparks are flying all over and shit. Like, and the filling of the pool
with the blood. Yeah,
it's fantastic, but it's unclear what's going on.
Yeah.
Also, other quick question: if you have sex with an animal, does it pass to the animal? And then, does it appear to the animal, like would the horse then see another spooky horse walking towards it? I don't know. I want to know the answer.
Well, maybe we'll get It Follows 2.
It still follows.
And it's just
It follows
animals.
2 back to the bar.
Or we'll get like a Wayne's Brothers, or a, yeah.
Yeah, in Scary Movie 6 or 7 or whatever the hell they're on. Oh, man.
Yeah, go see It Follows. I'll watch it with you.
Maybe.
I'll hold
It's
your
worth a
hand if
watch.
you need me
It's
to.
fantastic.
I can't do scary movies. I can do like I love the Scream movies. I can do like murder mystery kind of stuff like that, like thrillers. But like straight up like, oh, there's a monster, a demon. I'm just like, I can't do that.
Do you, like, is it an irrational fear? Or do you know that it's like these things aren't real, or do you have a fear that these things are real?
I don't like jump scares and stuff.
Okay, I was just curious.
And I'm just not a fan of the horror. Like, I don't want to pay money to get scared. I want to pay money to have fun. I just like being scared does not equate to a good time for me. Some people love it and they like the thrill. Like I'm like the opposite. I'm like, I like it chill. I'm all chill, no thrill.
That's part of what I like about It Follows is it's not heavily dependent on like jump scares. Just
No.
like, oh, suddenly there's a thing there. It's just really, creates this ambiance where it's just unnerving and you're not sure what you're afraid of because it could be anything and you're not sure how likely it is to appear at any time.
You literally don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly,
At all.
yeah.
It's just like, I don't know.
And that's it. Man, I want to watch that movie again. Because also, I was wondering, like, where are the parents during this whole thing? But then somebody mentioned to me that I don't think you see a single adult in that movie who isn't the entity.
Yeah.
Like, the only adults you see are whatever this murderous ST demon is. Like, you're not seeing anything outside of the world of these teenagers all just fending for themselves, which is kind of compelling and interesting, but I want to watch it again.
I know. I just watched it yesterday, so I know that's why I was like, yo, roommate, we're watching this tonight. He was like, okay, what's it about? I'm like, I'm not telling you. You'll find out.
It does sound like a movie that I would be more interested in watching. So we'll watch Dope, and then you might have to convince me.
Okay, how about we do It Follows and then Dope, because
Yeah.
Dope will cheer you
It'll
up.
bring you back up afterward.
All right. Okay, I'll do it.
Will you do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I got you.
I'll do it.
I have Capri Sun.
I might have to order pizza again too. But I can just like, oh god, don't do that. Just like stuff pizza in my face.
Eat your fear.
Yeah. All right. So now we're number 2, right?
All right. My number 2 is American Ultra, which Matt already talked about a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I saw it and then I went back the next day and brought my fiance because I was just like, you need to see this movie. It's great. You'll love it. And that was the movie that made me realize how wonderful Walton Goggins is.
Oh, dude. he was awesome in The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite parts in The Hateful Eight. Like, I love that whole movie, but him especially since he starts out as just like this shitty racist guy, I was like, oh, Walton Goggins, I wanted to like you. And then
you do like
yeah, by the end of the movie, I was like, oh shit, he's amazing. Even though he's still a racist monster, it's just like in these fucked up circumstances where you're locked in a cabin and everyone's a murderer. Like, it doesn't even matter. It's just like, I love you, Walton Goggins.
I just rewatched the episode of Community that he's in, and I was like, oh my god, he kills it.
Yeah, and watching American Ultra, I knew I recognized him from somewhere, and then I realized it was from that episode of Community, which he totally steals. He's amazing in it. And he's so fucking good. And I just love everyone in American Ultra is so good. And the balance of action and comedy and keeping it grounded and relatable while still being light enough that it can be funny when someone's head gets blown up is a really delicate art that I feel like that movie pulls off well, and like Kingsman pulls off really well. I love it. It's great.
All right, my number 2 is Mad Max Fury Road. So
we're probably gonna have to hold off saying.
I do want to talk about one thing though.
Okay.
The reason why I love the movie is honestly the cinematography. Like, the world is great, but like, Jesus fucking Christ, that movie is gorgeous start to finish. Just the entire thing. It's like one of those movies you watch and it's like, I want to live in this shitty, like, broken world just because I want to see more of this. I wish I could see life in like those colors.
The reason it's so high on my list and why I moved it even higher was because it's one of those movies that just I only saw it once, which is a crime.
I think I saw it 4 times.
Nobody can beat her.
Yeah, no.
But the reason it's so high on my list and why I moved it higher is because it never left my mind for the whole year after I seeing it. Where I was thinking about it all the time. So we're gonna get into a big discussion about that movie in a little bit. Maybe my top one we might talk about quite a bit too, but not in nearly as much. All right, my number 2 is Creed. I loved it. No movie I saw this year made me cry or tear up as many times as seeing Creed. Which I went into it not thinking, like, I had no expectations for it to be as good as it was for me.
Are you a Rocky fan?
I'd never seen a Rocky movie before.
Yeah, me neither.
So that's just really so I went in with none of that working, none of the nostalgia going for it, which is weird because I actually had that for none of the movies that really were on my list. I had none of the nostalgia factor, even Star Wars. The nostalgia was not a factor for me. But I actually loved Creed, and it was the biggest surprise of the year for me. And I was listening to a podcast, and they were just describing. Did you guys see Creed? Did you see Creed? Mm-hmm. You saw Creed? Well, they were describing. Oh Jesus! They were describing the end, and I just started to like tear up a little bit as I'm at work. I'm just like sweeping the floor, listening to this podcast, and I go, "Oh God damn it! That scene just got me so hard."
Yeah,
and
just when thinking about a scene from a movie makes you tear up, that means it's a good movie.
That's why it's so high.
That's why I put my number 1 at number 1 too, is because thinking about it makes me want to cry. Like,
right.
Watching Creed in the theater, I just saw it a couple days ago. I haven't seen any of the Rocky movies. I have a vague awareness of the events of them.
I know what. Yeah, same here.
And like I knew about Apollo Creed and his having died in the ring, so I like had a little bit of.
You went in with just enough knowledge.
Yeah, with just enough to know like, oh, that's his kid. Okay.
Yep.
And then it was fantastic, and I was expecting to not be that into it because I was like, Sylvester Stallone. When I look at him, I want to roll my eyes and like whatever. And I kind of wasn't prepared to be into it. And like I love Michael B. Jordan, but I was just sort of like, whatever. It's a movie about a guy who punches stuff.
But it's so much more.
So much more, yeah.
And Sylvester Stallone, amazing in it. He does such a good job for a character that he created 40 years ago, and for him to play that character now. And it's the best you've ever seen him. Mm-hmm. For Stallone, people don't think Stallone for like best supporting actor.
Yeah.
No, this dude, and he brings in this movie.
When I think of Stallone, I think of like Expendables.
Right. but when you see Creed, you see him in a whole different light, and you're like, oh my god.
He's more vulnerable and he's more human than I was expecting him to be.
Than you've ever seen him.
And especially because even throughout the movie, he still just talks like Sylvester Stallone.
Well, of course.
He's like...
He's still
kind of
Rocky.
sounds like a low-pitched robot.
Oh, yeah.
But then he's still, like, convinces you. Like, I was still invested, and I still was really sad and connected to that character and cared about his well-being and cared about Creed, like that. So good.
This was just a movie I went and saw it by myself, which I don't usually do. But I was just like, oh, all my friends are busy. I really want to see this movie. I'm just gonna go. And I was it's just me sitting alone, just with like my eyes just watering up, just like going, God fucking damn it, this movie. But like, my theater experience for that movie was so weird. So I like to sit in like the first row with the bar, so I can like put my feet up on the bar or whatever. And I'm like alone in this row, except for like 2 people far down. This group of like 3 people comes, and literally dude sits right next to me, and I'm just like, are you for real, dude? I just came to the movie by myself. I'm probably gonna cry. Like, why? You guys sit right next to me? And it just made it so weird, because here I am just by myself with my large pop, just watching Creed, and like, just tearing up, having a great time. And this dude's just, I don't know, I don't like having someone I don't know sitting right next to me. Like,
While you're crying.
yeah, it just really stuck with me. It's like, dude, come on. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen Creed, you have to see it, because it is
really
fantastic.
I really want to see it.
My roommate and I went and saw The Revenant and then went to Creed.
Oh.
And I'm so glad we saw them in that order.
Yeah.
Because Creed just like lifted me up. I was just like, I was so...
You feel so
into it.
happy.
Yeah, it was
watching it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And just, I love Michael B. Jordan. Like
I do too.
I feel bad that I didn't go out and see Fantastic Four.
I know.
Because I love the Fantastic Four.
I love the Fantastic Four, and I love all those
believe-
actors.
Yeah, exactly. The cast is amazing, and that's my favorite part about the previous Fantastic Four movies too. Is the cast. I think they're great. I think I love Miles Teller and Kate Mara and Michael B. Jordan, and I was just like, I'm excited to see this, and then I just didn't get around to it.
On our podcast, Matt and I talked a lot about Fantastic Four leading up to it, and then how we didn't see it because we heard it was so bad.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is I feel bad for not having seen it just based on the reason I didn't see it was because I heard terrible things about it, and I feel bad that I'm like, I let everyone else tell me what to do and influence my feelings. But yeah, I just want to support Michael B. Jordan because he's amazing.
I'm so happy Ryan Coogler is directing Black Panther.
Yes.
Now, because Black Panther, I'm reading more and more comics. I read Secret Wars #9, and then I read Ultimates #2 last night. And Black Panther is one of the best characters in all of Marvel Comics. He is amazing, and I'm so glad Ryan Coogler is taking care of that material and that character.
Have you guys seen Fruitvale Station?
No, it's
but
on
I'm
Netflix.
gonna
I
go and
really
watch
want
it
to.
now.
Because
Yeah.
he directed that, and Michael B. Jordan is...
That's what got him to do Creed was Fruitvale Station, because he went to Sylvester Stallone because he's been apparently a lifelong Rocky fan, and he pitched the idea to him, and Stallone was like, "Oh no, whatever." Then Stallone saw him hit Fruitvale Station. He was like, "We're doing it. We're doing Creed. This
Yeah.
guy's amazing. He's got talent. We're doing it."
Fruitvale Station is an incredible movie, and it's yeah, if you're not familiar with it, it's about a dude who gets killed by the cops for basically no reason. It's on New Year's Eve. He's out in the world with some friends, and then some shit happens, and then a cop kills him. But for a movie where that's what's coming, and that it's just going to be here's a guy and he's not so bad, kind of down on his luck, but then, he's trying to get his life together, and then some dark shit happens. That's what the movie's going to be going in, and it's still compelling, and Michael B. Jordan is incredible, and it's so good, and I'm so glad that both of them are working together.
Yes, they're a great team. I can't wait to see what they do together in the future. So yeah, that's my number 2, Creed.
I have to go see it
You do.
and go maybe try to cry on a movie that isn't Kung Fu Panda 2. The only movie I've cried during.
That's the only movie you've cried during?
I think I might have been a little sad and maybe got water in my eyes, but with Kung Fu Panda 2, I tears streaming down my face.
See, I never straight up cried. It's always just water in my eyes. The only movie I've ever actually cried watching is Toy Story 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it's never this. Everyone's like, "Oh, the fire scene." It's not that scene for me.
Really?
It's always the scene when he's passing the toys down to Bonnie.
See-
that gets me so hard. Just like, oh my god, he's leaving his friends behind and passing them on to this little girl.
See, I felt like it was the exact opposite for me, where everyone I talked to talked about how hard they cried when he gave the toys away.
Oh, really?
But during that incinerator scene where they just look at each other and join hands and accept their death, I'm watching not only animated characters, just animated plastic characters. These characters don't exist in any kind of reality, and yet I'm watching them accept and face their mortality.
Like-
And I fall apart during that scene.
Okay, I lied. I actually did cry during another movie, but it was also animated, and it was Inside Out.
Inside Out, I did too. I love Inside Out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph. It's
Oh.
great.
I love Wreck-It Ralph too.
It's just, you really are a bad
It's always
guy.
animated movies that get me.
Because they know how to appeal to the adult and the kid.
Let's talk about the opening scene of Up.
Oh,
Nope.
first time I
I'm
watched that
out.
movie, sobbing.
I first
Man.
watched that movie in English class. We watched it in English.
Why?
Oh no, it wasn't English. It was my communications class in high school. It was my interpersonal communications class. We watched Up.
No. I can't think about that.
Oh man, have any of you seen The Spectacular Now?
Yes.
That movie, I broke down.
Yeah.
I was sobbing, and I was watching it with like 4 of my friends, and my one friend was crying, but she wasn't crying super hard, but I was sobbing, like I couldn't breathe, like I was just going like, and like they paused the movie, and everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Have you read the book?
No, I haven't.
See, I've read that before the movie, and the book is just like brutal.
Yeah.
It's just from his point of view, and you're just like, fuck, fuck, fuck. And so when I was watching the movie, I'm like, this is actually a little less brutal than the book, but it was still very emotional.
I'm tearing up right now. all of these emotions, man.
We need to move on. What's your number 2?
Just talking about how sad we are. Okay. My number 2 is a movie that is the opposite of sad. It is Kung Fury, which is... What does that look for?
Nothing at all.
I don't know how to interpret the look you just gave me.
I'm just surprised.
Why? It's a great... Okay, so basically, has everyone here seen Kung Fury?
Okay, I tried watching it and I fell asleep.
Really?
How?
Because I was laying in bed under my covers and I watched the movie and I woke up and I was like, oh, what? I woke up literally at the end. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I think I just went back to sleep.
Kung Fury. Did you see what my shirt says?
No, I didn't.
It's Kung Furiosa.
So I wonder what my 2 top
Yeah.
movies are. This doesn't give it away at all. Okay, Kung Fury. Yes, it is a little surprising. It's only a 30-minute film, and it's Swedish, and it was funded by Kickstarter, and it is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I don't know. I just think it's beautiful. Adolf Hitler / Kung Fuhrer is played by one of the dudes from The Lonely Island.
Oh yeah.
The Jorma Taccone.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not the glasses, not Andy's
Yeah,
Hitler.
Jorma.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's Hitler. Hacker Man is the best.
You know, I need to watch it again while I'm like, and will stay awake for it. I appreciate the movie a lot. If you loved it, if you ever watched Danger 5,
Yeah, I actually when I was
Danger
leaving here, I was halfway through the first episode
Of Danger 5?
because it was like well, I watched Kung Fury today because I watched it a lot, so it was like recommended for you, Danger 5. And I read the description, I was like,
Danger 5 is basically if Kung Fury was an Australian TV show.
yeah,
It's watching Kung Fury, I was like, this is not just Danger 5. But yeah, so you'd probably really like Danger 5. I can't handle it because it's like too ridiculous for me. Where I was watching it, I was like, this show is just fucking insane.
It's one of those shows where I can watch a couple episodes in a row, but then
Then you're just like, I
I'm
can't do
done.
this
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
I'll watch a couple episodes and then leave and come back to it, which I think is why I like Kung Fury so much, is because it's short. Like it's so fun and it's so ridiculous and so stylized, and it does exactly what it wants to do.
And it has the best original song of all time, True Survivor, sung by David Hasselhoff, with the best music video. I've listened to True Survivor probably 200 times. One time, I went on this ridiculous road trip. Remember when I went to Milwaukee and back in one night?
For no reason.
For no reason. And on the way back with 2 hours to go, my friend and I were losing our shit, so we played True Survivor for 2 hours straight. On the way back to Minnesota, and I was losing my mind, but I was like, look at True Survivor. And like, that's how I survived.
It's because you seriously, like, your brain just snapped and you lost.
So every time that song comes on, I'm just like, Dominoes Rising. I know that whole song. I know that whole song. I love that movie so much.
Why didn't they get nominated for Best Original Song?
They should, Best Original Film,
Why is
or
that
just for
not
Best Film,
nominated
Best
for
Director, Best
short?
Actor. It should just been everything. I think, honestly, if I didn't love Mad Max so much, Kung Fury would have been my number one. Without a doubt.
Wow.
So yeah, it didn't even occur to me to think about that one because I was just looking at like features, and then I just totally forgot any and all shorts.
You forget about those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kung Fury's amazing.
those were the only 2 films I was 100% sure about when I was creating my list. And the rest had to come to me, and I was like, Mad Max, Kung Fury, done. So, that's my number 2.
Sweet. All right, we're down to the number 1. Ben,
Right, my
your number one.
First, okay, I want to do some honorable mentions here.
Yeah, do it.
Because I saw and loved Anomalisa.
I see. You'll have to. I liked Anomalisa. I didn't love it. My buddy who recommended it to me said, probably my favorite movie of the year. I was like, oh shit, that's high. So I went in there and I watched it and I was like, it's okay.
See, I really dug it, and then I stepped back. Like, at the end of the movie, I was like, that was good. And then I sort of stepped back and thought about it a little more, and then it grew on me. Like, as I was thinking about it, I liked it a lot more. Basically, to begin with, anything that's stop motion, I'm automatically interested in.
I was more impressed with the feet and the style of the movie than like the movie itself.
Yeah, and just the style and the fact that I'm blanking on words today. Just the fact that the animation is then worked into the story, like the part where his face is like coming apart and stuff. That that's an element of it. The weird generic puppet faces that everybody has, and like the incredibly unnatural, subtle touches are what makes that movie for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay, sorry to take you off top. What is the rest of your honorable mentions?
Big Short, I loved. It Follows was on my list for a little while, but then fell off. I had a more comprehensive list of honorable mentions, and then I didn't write it down because I thought I'd remember, and now I didn't. But basically, going back to crying, my number 1 movie of the year I decided was Inside Out.
Yes.
Because I loved it, and it was at number 4 on my list for like the last week, and then I was shifting things around, and I was like, no, Inside Out's amazing. I love it. That is a movie that, thinking about it makes me tear up. Talking about it makes me tear up. Watching that movie, I went and saw it with my fiance and her mom and her little sister. And it was a theater full of kids. So, there's noise throughout. Little kids like making sounds and asking questions about like what the movie's about and stuff. And of course, have all of you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one moment when all of the kids just go silent is the Bing Bong scene.
Yeah.
And I am sobbing. The sounds of my crying are just echoing through the theater. I'm just like, and every child is just silent. Like if I weren't sobbing openly, you could have heard a pin drop. Chloe's, my fiance's little sister, leans over to her mom and asks, "Are you crying too?" And she says, "No, I'm laughing at how hard Ben's crying." Because I knew that I would cry. Like, I knew that movie would get me. But, oh, fuck. I fell apart. And I watched it at home again recently because my roommate bought it on Blu-ray. And I was like, oh, yeah, this movie's good. I'll watch this again. And I somehow forgot.
You like blocked out, like trauma just blocked it out.
Yeah, I remembered it was good, and I remembered that I cried, but then it just happened again. I was just sitting in the living room with like 4 of my friends just tears rolling down my face. And there were so many more parts that made me cry watching it a second time. And just, I feel like it's such a rich, valuable movie. Just the concept of memories having two distinct, different, but equally important categories. Like the core memories that she ends up with at the end that are like half happy and half sad is just such a simple but important concept. Because there are so many times in my life where especially when I was younger, especially around that time in my life, like ages like 11 to 16, where I just didn't know how to process my emotions. And there were so many things that made me really happy and really sad at the same time. And there were so many things that I just couldn't figure out how to categorize. I feel like putting that in such simple terms in a children's movie is so incredibly valuable. And like I've talked to people who have watched that movie in like therapy classes and in like support groups and stuff, where it's just it breaks it down in such a way but makes it so easy to relate to and easy to grasp. I love it. That movie amazed me.
It's a great movie for kids and adults.
Yeah.
To really understand the subject matter. Like no matter what age, you're just like, oh my god, I fucking get this.
Yeah.
And it resonated with me too because she moves from Minnesota, and when I was growing up, I moved every 3 years.
Oh man.
And I lived in Minnesota twice, so I moved from Minnesota 2 times, and I was just like, oh, that was me. Yeah, and I really resonated with just moving around a lot and how shitty that is. But even without that, it was just. Yeah, I don't know if I can talk about it because I think I'll cry too. Right, that's the movie that no, I can't do it.
I feel like the fact that
I'm not supposed to have emotions. Y'all are not supposed to see me with emotions.
I feel like the choice to focus on the emotions as the main characters rather than the girl is so valuable. It's such a good move because there's not a whole lot in her particular experience that I can relate to. Like I've
never really moved.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
I've never moved a long distance, and I was never into sports as a kid, so I never had to deal with like wins or losses in that way, or leaving a team or gaining a new team or whatever. Like there were so many things that I in particular couldn't relate to, but just the experience of emotional upheaval is so universal and so well expressed and well articulated in that movie. It's amazing.
Pixar did a damn fine job with that movie.
And that's why I feel so bad about missing out on The Good Dinosaur, because I was like, oh, Inside Out was incredible. Pixar is still
makes me
kicking
feel
ass.
bad that The Good Dinosaur was so bad.
And then I kept hearing bad things about Good Dinosaur, and I need to see it. I don't know. I want to know.
You might like it more than I would.
Yeah.
It's about a boy and his dog. It's a boy and his dog, and it's a
the
western.
dog is the boy.
Yes, and it's a western too. So anyway, that's a great number one pick.
I love it so much. It took me a while, and then I just realized I was like, no, that's clearly.
It was on my original draft of my list.
So good.
Yeah. All right, Matt, your number one.
My number one is Kingsman: Secret Service. I knew this from the second I saw it.
Wow.
When we walked,
together,
we saw it for the first time. I saw it.
We saw it on Valentine's Day.
I saw it like 7 or 8 times in theaters.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
It's so fucking good. Like everything about it. This is another one where the cinematography was great. Just all the action shots. I love the. They did the stylized thing where they shot in slow mo and then sped it up. So there's more frames. Or they shot more frames per second and then made it normal 20 or 23.96 whatever it is frames per second. So it's like they did that with all the action shots, just everything. It looks gorgeous. It's funny. There's great action. Everybody's great.
Are you guys big like Bond or spy movie fans?
We talked about this. I'm not a huge Bond fan. I'm more of a Bond fan than a Mission Impossible fan too. So it's like if that gives you any barometer. But I love the idea of
Bond movies.
Okay.
I just really like spy stuff, which I realized as I've gotten older. Like I never realized that as a kid. I just realized that looking back at the stuff I like, you go, oh, I like spy stuff.
Because I feel like Kingsman, there were a lot of like references and sort of elements that were parodying or sort of poking fun at that genre.
Yeah,
that
for
probably went over my head
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not like I haven't seen a lot of.
I haven't seen
that
a
type
lot.
of
I
movie.
think I'm just so. My brain just knows so much. Like I don't even need to see the movie to get the references they're making. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for me, what it is I love Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah,
He's
I do
fantastic, and just it hit at the right time. Where I think with the same thing with Scott, I didn't realize that I liked spy movies until this year. There's I have 2 or 3 on my list.
Yeah. Even Spy was good. I like
Yeah.
Spy.
really
I
enjoyed
loved Spy.
That was one that I forgot to mention earlier.
Yeah, but I didn't know that I liked those movies until I saw it, and I was like, damn, I've been missing out on such cool stuff. But this is way better than Bond because it's funny.
Yeah.
Did any of you see Spectre?
No.
No.
We were actually gonna see Spectre, and we ended
Yeah.
up seeing Spotlight instead.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was just such a better decision.
'Cause, yeah, Spectre is one that I didn't get around to, but meant to, because I've only seen the Daniel Craig Bond
Yeah,
movies.
I saw Skyfall and Quantum of Solace. Those are the only 2 Bond movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've seen those ones, and Casino Royale are the only ones I've seen, and I really liked all of them. But then I heard, not great things about Spectre, and I just never got around to it.
To me, they're movies that I don't need to see in theaters.
Yeah.
Personally, I grew up. My dad was a huge Bond fan, so I watched all the movies as a kid, and I think that's maybe I'm desensitized to that side of spy. I don't need an ultra serious spy movie or a trying to take itself too seriously.
Right. That's why I liked Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Spy and Kingsman and the show Chuck. When that was on, I loved that show too. I like the spy stuff with a twist. So
Plus that joke at the end.
I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. It's a good number 1.
Yeah.
My number 1, if it's not painfully obvious,
No, it's not. I don't know what you're gonna say at all.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens. What? Which I didn't expect it to be my number 1 going into it because, all right, I think we're gonna have to talk about this one because we're gonna go into spoilers with this because I really want to talk about Star Wars with people.
So spoiler alert.
Yeah. Okay, I did not grow up with Star Wars. My family, my mom's never seen a Star Wars movie. My stepdad has also never seen a Star Wars movie.
Wow.
I didn't grow up watching movies. My mom, I couldn't tell you the last time she's even been to a movie theater. So I didn't get into Star Wars until I was much older, and I got into the action figures as a kid because I just really like action figures. But that's a different story. So that got me into Star Wars, and then I think it was all the hype behind this movie and me following all the news behind this movie for the past few years is what really got me excited for it and really got me into Star Wars. Where I went out and bought all of the not all the toys, but all of the main Black Series action figures the day they went on sale. I set an alarm, got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, went to the Target by my house, and I grabbed Kylo Ren, Rey, Finn, the Stormtrooper, got them all, so I just went and dropped $90 on action figures in one day. So it's just me at 8 o'clock in the morning, hadn't showered, I seriously just got out of bed, threw on some shorts and a t-shirt and sandals, and then went to the store. And it's just, I even took a picture of me just in line, just holding all these figures in my hand. But I was just so hyped for this movie. I've never been so excited for a movie. I never followed a movie's production so closely, and just finally being able to see it was just amazing, and it was so great. I just had such a blast watching it. Even the things that I saw coming, okay, major spoiler, Hans, you guys all saw it, right?
No, I've never seen it, ever.
I was like, oh shit, he's just about spoiled
Yeah.
something.
Anyway, so when Han dies, I saw it coming from 12 miles away.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. It was still great. Some people had that as a problem against it. They're like, oh, it was really, I saw it coming. And so seeing something coming doesn't mean it's bad for me.
And we talked about this 7-8 months before the movie came out. He had to die either this movie or the next movie.
Right.
Harrison Ford is way too expensive.
Harrison Ford wanted him to die in the very first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
In A New Hope, he wanted him to die.
Wasn't that why Empire ends with him being frozen in
Yep.
carbonite?
Yeah.
So he wouldn't necessarily have to come back.
They weren't sure if Harrison Ford, because unlike Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford did not sign a 3-film contract, so they weren't sure if he would come back for the next one. So no, sending him off, I think that was perfect sending him off in that.
Yeah, and I love that scene so much.
But okay, I want you guys to talk about Star Wars a little bit before I talk about it too much. That way I can bounce off you guys.
Adam Driver's amazing.
Yeah, because I knew he was casting that, but I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And I've seen Girls. I only saw one season because I can only
Because it's an awful
so
show.
much.
I hate Girls.
I like that.
I watched it for 4 seasons. I hate it. After
Why
watching
did you keep watching it?
watching it for 4 seasons, I realized I hate this show. I watched the 4th season out of spite. I hate watching it.
I really like that show, but I really like him on it.
Yes,
especially.
he's the best part. of
He
it.
is so great. And so then it just takes off, and I'm just the helmet, and I was like, "That's Adam fucking Driver. What the hell are you doing here?" But he was so perfect.
Yes.
He's so incredible.
I don't know if anyone could have been better for that role.
What a great we don't see villains like that where you just see him just lose his cool and just takes his lightsaber to a computer console. We're especially in the Star Wars universe, all the villains are very oh, I'm the villain. You see him and he's conflicted, and you see he's got outbursts and stuff. He's a person. He's a real character.
And I feel like Adam Driver is so good at playing that type of dual conflicted sort of weird character, because that's what I love about his character on Girls is I love him, but he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Everyone's an asshole on that show.
Yeah, that is true. But I feel like he's the one who's stood out to me the most as I still really want to like him, even though he does shitty things and acts like a shitty person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly the same with Kylo Ren. I am compelled and interested, and I feel for him. But you fucking witness him murder his father, and it's not a surprise.
No.
You know it's coming, and I still want to see what else Kylo Ren has in the future. I want to see the future of that character really badly.
Right. I would, as irredeemable as he is, because you killed Han Solo. I want to see him be redeemed and be, and I want to see him be in a Avatar: The Last Airbender. I want him to pull a Zuko and he joins a team against Snoke or whatever, and he's no, I'm gonna help you now, and we're gonna I'd like to see that
Against the Fire Nation?
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen, but...
And, Darth Vader is a really cool villain, and he's interesting and, intense, but...
He's not very complex.
Yeah, I don't feel for him that much. At the end, he has...
Prequels try to make you feel for him, but I don't think they do a good job.
At the end, he has sort of his turnaround where Luke takes off his helmet and they have their little bonding moment, but... It's still, I never felt particularly attached to that character. Mm-hmm. But even just one movie, I'm, already excited to see more Kylo Ren, and I want him to turn his life around. I believe in him.
Yeah. Can we talk about Rey?
No, I will start... No.
Why?
What?
I will start screaming because I love her so much. Also, dibs.
No, dude.
No.
Dibs before you.
No, dibs.
Everyone's got...
No, yeah.
Daisy Ridley has got to be, one of the biggest breakout stars of 2015 just for that one movie.
She's so good.
She's amazing. The characters is great, and the criticisms I heard online are stupid as hell.
What are they?
Well, it's mostly just Max Landis being a dumbass, but people saying she's a Mary Sue character, which is so stupid, absurd.
Just the thing about Mary Sue as a category is there's no male equivalent of that.
Batman's a Mary Sue, if you think about that.
But
You can do anything.
nobody has a name for that. Nobody.
that's just a hero.
And says,
in
that's a Mark Sue.
Yeah.
It's only because that character is female that anyone is making that.
Well, we also don't know the backstory. This is what I hate about this. Everybody coming out saying, "Oh, it's a Mary Sue." It's we don't know. We could find out that she was 5 years old and fucking destroying people, and then they decided, well, we should maybe wipe her mind and put her on this remote planet.
Yeah, who knows?
We don't know.
But
No idea.
She's amazing in the movie, and honestly, the best scene is when she picked the lightsaber with the Force. She picks it up.
So good.
Yeah.
It's the most satisfying scene in that entire movie.
And that was the one moment the first time I watched it where I was I might have a problem with this because Finn is having that fight with Kylo Ren, and he's using the lightsaber, and like it's a cool scene. But I was like, is this really? This isn't gonna be it, right? Like he's not gonna.
Because he gets wrecked. He gets put into a coma.
And then after he gets knocked down, I was like, okay, it's time. It's time for her to fucking just do it.
And she does.
It's vibrating, and I'm like, she's gonna get it.
Like, see, that's another part where I knew exactly what was going to happen, but that didn't take away from my enjoyment of seeing it.
It was still satisfying.
That anticipation of knowing, like, yep, this is it. This is where she comes in and wins. I was just like, yep, I'm on board. I'm in.
It's one of the movies this year where I loved every character in the movie. Finn, fantastic,
so good.
And his relationship with Rey, their whole like that's like a brother-sister relationship. It's great the way those two.
It's like stepbrother, stepsister, where the stepbrother has a crush on the stepsister, and she doesn't realize it, and it's just weird for everybody involved.
She doesn't care.
Yeah.
And then BB-8, I mean, stole the fucking.
He's easily the best character in the movie.
I feel like BB-8 is a perfect balance. Like, there's too much of it in the prequels of like wacky physical comedy,
crazy R2D2. Yeah.
And like the little BB-8 thumbs up.
Nope. I scream if I think about it.
It's so cute and it's so perfect, but it's so brief, and he's just cute enough to be compelling and fun, but not so much so that he really distracts from anything that's supposed to be more serious.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And the relationship between BB-8 and Poe is great too, where you don't really see you don't see relationship between like the person and their droid like that in the other movies, where like he genuinely loves BB-8. BB-8 is like his dog. I would say like when he sees BB-8 again, he's so happy to see
buddy.
Yeah, like, and that's just like they get it with this movie, and that's what this movie said. Is like Star Wars. We get it. We got us.
I was reading this article. It was a really long article, but it's great. From Wired magazine, and it came out like 2 days before the movie premiered, I think. So they didn't have any spoilers for the movie, but they talked about J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy and like all the people that were involved. And it was like reading that article made me realize why that movie was so great. They had a meeting with J.J. Abrams, and this was before he signed on as director. And he sat down, and the first thing that was said from anybody, he asked, "How do you want the movie to feel?" And it was like, that's why he was the perfect director for this movie. Any gripes you have with the movie, whatever, it's like he had to restore faith for all the Star Wars fans. Yeah. And it's like, that was why, because he was like, instead of asking, well, you know, is Jar Jar back or some stupid shit, you know, is like, how do we want people to feel?
Yeah, instead of asking like, how can we make this appeal to kids? Or like, what can we make the most toys of? It's like, what is the tone of this? How will this strike people?
Mm-hmm. I also wanted to say too that I am official Poe and Finn shipper. For sure.
Yes.
I would be on
yes.
with that.
I am so yes. Yes.
I want to see that happen.
Those two men. I mean, just Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I'm thinking about Oscar Isaac. I need my own room. I'm fine. Oh God.
Yeah. I just had to say that because it's how I feel.
I've seen a lot of stuff online about that, and like I didn't get that vibe from the movie. But
no,
but
the stuff online kind of convinced me that.
I guess
I guess originally, I don't know where people gleaned this from, but Poe was supposed to come out as gay in the film. Like there was supposed to be like subtle hints at the fact that he was gay.
Interesting.
Like he was supposed to be. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be with Finn. But
I'll make it happen.
They're perfect for each other.
I'm very
except for the fact that he's in love with Rey. So I don't know. I guess maybe he gets turned down by her.
Bye.
That's true.
Or as long as we get some sweet bro love between Poe and Finn, that's fine.
Bro.
But also that last shot of the movie with Rey and Luke and the helicopter shot of the island, best ending to any Star Wars movie ever. Like that's just the scene where Mark Hamill just turns around and just takes the hood off. I was just like, holy fuck. Yes.
There's so much speculation about that scene too, because I guess the leaked script has like the description of what he's supposed to be emoting is like a lot of people are reading into and stuff.
I don't care. I thought it was just.
I'm not saying it was bad. No, I'm just
I
saying
thought
like
it was great the way it was,
Yeah.
and I can't wait for an old Luke action figure because I'm gonna definitely get when as soon as it comes out.
Dude, I want to see more Phasma.
I do too. That was a problem because I still liked her. I think honestly, like a lot of people saying, if you know the guy who's like traitor, if that would have been Phasma, everything with them later on would have been better.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see her more in. We'll get more of her in the next one.
well,
Yeah.
they've said that we're going to see more.
I mean,
of
it's a
it, but
given.
Can we talk about Daniel Craig's cameo
It's fucking
Sure.
and just how great it was?
That whole like, and I'll drop my weapon.
Yeah, he's just the stormtrooper who's guarding her.
That,
Is that right?
yeah.
I love Daniel Craig.
And Simon Pegg is the junkyard guy
Unkar Plutt.
who sells her the food, gives her the food.
60 portions.
Yeah, that's Simon Pegg.
Wow.
Yeah, like such a movie where I just liked every fucking character in it.
Everyone in it is so good.
Yeah, so that's the reason it's my number one is because I saw it 3 times. I'm usually a once in the theater and that's it kind of person, but I saw it 3. Like I saw it and then I was down visiting friends and we were just sitting around. We're just like, let's go see Star Wars again because we were just bored. We're like, yeah, let's just do it. And it was even better because I knew everything was going to happen, and then hearing the audience's reaction to everything, I was like, oh, this just makes me feel good.
Yeah, just getting to enjoy that experience with so many other people makes such a difference.
Yes. So, all right. The final number one, which we all know.
I wonder what it
it's
is.
going to be.
Okay, so my number one is the most recent Alvin and the Chipmunks movie.
I heard that was great.
Road Trip, no, it was Alvin and the Chipmunks Fury Road. So,
I would watch that.
okay, never mind. Yeah, it was, it might have been Mad Max. So I saw Mad Max Fury Road 7 times in theaters, and then the day it came out on digital, I bought that, and then I bought it the day it came out on Blu-ray. So outside of theaters, I've seen it probably 5 or more times. So we can do the math. I've seen this movie so many fucking times. A week ago, I came out home on an airplane from Georgia, and I watched it on the airplane. And I just cried the whole time because I love this movie so much. I might talk about it online a bit.
A lot.
A lot. Just, I don't know what I can say really because I'm just gonna start screaming.
I mean, if you do have to scream, you can just roll back a little bit.
I think I need an inhaler.
I don't have one. But it's, god damn, that movie is so much fun.
Yeah.
And what gets me, I think my favorite part of the movie is the soundtrack.
Oh my god, yeah.
I downloaded the soundtrack and was listening to it as I was playing Mario Kart. And I was like, god damn, the soundtrack is so fucking rad. Just the part where just just gets me. I was like, yes, I'm hooked by the music.
I love that motif of the burr, burr, like whatever that is. Yeah. I mean, every time I watch that film, which is, a lot, I cannot drive in my car afterward because I'll treat my car like it's just I'm we're gonna fucking go fast, and I'm okay, no, I can't do that. This is the cities and not the Citadel and the Fury Road. You need to chill out, Catherine. But yeah, the soundtrack is amazing. Just the amount of stunts that were done.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they had Cirque du Soleil people on set, and they were willing to just go to immense lengths to make that film possible. Yeah, and I don't.
God.
Tearing up.
I don't know what else to say about it.
One of the things that really struck me about that movie is the balance of practical and CG is
Yeah.
so good. Because I remember after it came out, so many people were championing it as this incredible, entirely practical.
There's
movie.
a lot of CG.
And, yeah, there's a ton of CG, but it all works so well. So much of it is practical, and so many subtle. The backgrounds are entirely CG, everything around them, and just so many things that just frame all the practical effects so well.
Yeah, I mean, Miller claims it was 90% practical. So, I don't know. I have not yet gone onto the special features part of my Blu-ray.
Right. You know, honestly, I don't
One
care.
day I'll do that.
I don't care what the fuck they did, whether it's practical or digital. It's the fact that it looks good.
Yeah, it works.
I don't care what your fucking means are. I just as long as the finished product is great. That's all that matters to me. I'm not one of those like practical, digital. It's like looks good. That's what I like hearing about.
And I thought, you know, I mean, what I liked about this film personally was that the day I decided to go, the day I watched it, it was kind of an accident. I didn't really want to watch this movie because I didn't think I'd like it. Ha ha ha. I remember reading that the MRAs were mad at this film, and they said that it was the feminist agenda because it has female characters in it. And so I was just like, I'm going to go fund the feminist agenda. And I just don't understand how you could find fault with it, because it's not like, it's like what I love. I think the thing I love most about that film is that the women in it die just like the men do.
Yeah.
Like they give the women brutal deaths, and I think like that's really important. They don't die these dramatic oh she died.
No, it's just like, well, she died.
She died under the wheels and onto the next person. Like that's awesome. Like this is literally
they're
equal
just
treatment.
People. Like they start out like, other than Furiosa, all the female characters. Well, the female characters, at least at the beginning of the movie, are basically sex slaves, right?
Yeah,
and
the
then
brides.
Later they find the
Valkyries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many mothers.
But even the ones who are, you know, spending the entire movie dressed in tissue paper basically aren't treated like paper dolls. Like they're still there and they're
they kick
participating in the ass kicking, and like they're getting killed. Yeah, like there's hardcore shit going on and they're a part of it because they're human beings. Like they're just there.
And I love their names. So the red hair girl's Capable.
She was my favorite.
Yeah, she's awesome. And then Toast the Knowing, which is Zoe Kravik's character. And then I love Cheeto the Fragile. She's the one that wants to go back. And at the end, she's the one that's extremely helpful because she's like, take me. And they're like, what are you doing? And then she gets up there and then she helps Furiosa up. And you're just like, yeah, that's right,
that's
Cheeto.
a badass moment.
Yeah. And it's just like, I think they all in their own way were incredibly useful and, you know, strong while also maintaining their femininity. Because I think that happens a lot where it's like we can only have a lot of strong female characters, they're robbed. And it's like, really, what is masculinity and femininity at the end of the day? But still, like, you should still allow the character to have emotions. Like Furiosa, that scene where she's just like wailing in the desert.
Breaks down.
Because you have this like really strong, badass character, and then you see her be very vulnerable. And then after that, she's like bundled up in a blanket, and she comes up to Max, and she's just like, "Can I talk to you?" Very like sad. I just think I think great for Mad Max, for Tom Hardy's character, to really explore like PTSD. Really, like you have this really badass character who is held back by his trauma, and I think that's really important for kind of that male hero in a action movie.
Yeah,
I could talk about this for like 1,000 days, and I won't. I kind of want to go home and watch it though.
I need to watch it. I've only seen it once. I really need to watch it again.
I think I saw it 3 times in theaters.
I need to watch it again too. I need to buy that movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if because my friend that I went, so on Friday night, Uptown Theater was doing a midnight showing of it, and so I saw it, and
Sweet.
my friend has seen it 8 times, I've seen it 7 times, and I'm trying to beat him. He still hasn't seen it out of theaters, so I'm technically beat him, but I want to beat him theater time, so I'm gonna start looking for budget theaters that are playing it. So if I find
let me know. It has to be on the
I will.
weekend though, because I can't.
I would. I have school starting on Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. That's the thing about working nights is I can't do anything Monday through Friday. My life is boring as hell. So, but yeah, God, Mad Max is like, being that I only saw it once and then it being so high on my list is because it never left my brain after seeing it. Like, it's influenced like stories that I want to write now, where I'm just like, just seeing that movie just gave me so many different ideas of where I could take certain things, and it inspired me to want to do this and that and this, and it just you only seen it once, but it hit me so hard and left such an imprint is why I liked it so much.
And I definitely think he made a big standard on how to write female characters too, because he had like a bunch of references. Like a big reason why the MRAs were mad, because he had forget her name, one of the authors of the Vagina Monologues on set doing consulting about like
Good for him.
Oh, that's awesome.
So she was there to consult on sexual trauma, sexual abuse, like
Because that's a
PTSD
big plot of
the thing.
movie.
Yeah, so she was there to explain that and to help create those characters, which
Right.
is like really awesome. So it was basically just like do your research.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just want to give George Miller the biggest hug ever.
He's great. I can't wait for him to make more Mad Max movies.
How old is he?
73.
Yeah, that's incredible.
He said he's still gonna do.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said his next project isn't going to be Mad Max or
But
like
he
a Mad
plans
Max,
on
but he's
doing more
yeah,
movies,
he said he absolutely plans
Even
on
if he
doing more.
can't direct them, but as long as he writes them and produces them, like has input on them, that is gonna for me.
Yeah.
I want to see more of Max and more of Furiosa. I want them in separate movies too. I would see a Furiosa movie.
I would be more compelled to see a Furiosa movie than a Mad Max movie.
I was going to say I'd love to just see more of the world. I don't even need any of the characters that have been in any of the Mad Max
And
movies.
I saw Fury Road and then I saw Road Warrior. Fury Road is amazing. Road Warrior is cool, but Fury Road is like a whole nother fucking level.
Yeah, had any of you seen the other Mad Max movies before Fury Road?
I watched the first two growing up. There's three, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first two growing up. I haven't seen the third one. But
I have Road Warrior sitting on my desk to watch, but I don't. Yeah, I was told you didn't really need to.
Road Warrior is
Yeah.
pretty good. Road Warrior is pretty brutal too.
See, I had seen the first one when I was in high school, but I had basically no memory of it, and then watched it again after watching Fury Road. And it is, like, they're drastically different
Yeah.
movies, but the feelings, like, they both just do a really good job of capturing sort of raw emotion and putting it up on the screen in a really effective way. And it made me really want to watch the other two, because I haven't seen Road Warrior or Thunderdome. Beyond Thunderdome, is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
Thunderdome.
Yep.
I haven't seen Thunderdome. I need to watch that.
Yeah,
I think Thunderdome is where Mad Max really becomes the Mad Max that we know,
yeah.
like style wise. Because Road Warrior, it doesn't really look anything like it hasn't reached the full Mad Max level, you know. So
when it was made on a really small budget.
the very first
Yeah,
one,
it was-
he financed it by working extra shifts in the ER.
Oh, wow.
George Miller's a doctor.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, he was an ER doctor in Australia.
Wow.
So. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think
Yeah.
we finally did our top 10 of 2015.
We made it.
I mean, this was a lot of fun. I'm so glad we did this, and it's so nice to be able to talk about movies and share experiences with other people and be interested. Like, I'm gonna watch so many of the movies that you guys said that I hadn't even heard of. Yeah,
And there were so many things that I saw that I otherwise wouldn't have seen just in attempting to prepare for this.
Really?
Yeah, like
That's
I finally watched The Final Girls, which I really enjoyed. I watched Focus, which was okay. I watched The Gallows, which was terrible. I watched Jupiter Ascending, which you mentioned earlier. That was just weird. There's just so many things that I was like, oh, I might see that, and didn't get around to it. And then, because of the motivation of this, I just sat down and watched movie after movie after movie, and I'm so glad I did. Because even the ones that didn't come close to making the list, I'm just glad I've seen them. Because I have yet to regret watching a movie.
yeah. This was a lot of fun. I hope you guys can come on our show again and talk about just whatever. Because it's great having other voices. Because it's usually just me and Matt on the show, so it's great to have other people to bounce off of and get differing opinions on stuff with. So yeah, that's a wrap. I guess we'll do the outros and talk about I don't know if you guys want to share your Twitter handles or whatever.
yeah.
Matt and I do all the time. Kat, do you want to share yours?
Oh, yeah,
Because I think
we can do that
everyone
now.
should follow you on Twitter.
Yes, one of my favorite
Yeah,
Twitters in the
where can people
world.
find you on Twitter and all that stuff?
My Twitter handle is @skeletontrash,
Yeah.
also known as Skeletal Trash Lord. That's me,
If you see her on Twitter, that's her.
the Geico Gecko.
Ben, do you want to share your
Yeah, my name is Ben Cannon, spelled like the weapon rather than the camera, and so then my Twitter handle is just my name without the vowels in it. So it's a BNCNNN. So it's super unwieldy and awkward, but you know.
Just go around circle.
All right. You can find me at Hagnerd, Hagnerd.
I am everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, all that bullshit. At Scotty Boy, SCOTTYBWO4Y.
Because 3 Ys was taken.
And you can...
Follow us at Fuzzy Loaf on the Twitter space.
Yeah, we tweet stuff.
Yeah.
There. Usually when new episodes are posted. You can comment, subscribe, rate. We are on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
This video and the last one will definitely be up on iTunes or YouTube probably. And yeah, I'm not forgetting anything.
No, I think that's it.
Cool. Thanks again, guys, for coming on. This was great.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we were able to finally do this. Smell you later.